real quick. Act 6, in a different part of here, it says, let's read it. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. Why was it necessary for him to teach you your nationality and your divine creed? Think about that. Why I gotta bring you your nationality?
Well, things that was taken away.
Yes, those two things were taken away. But think, come on, read now, go ahead.
Well, basically, when you're dealing with constitutional law, right, and we know that law governs all events.
Yes.
Right, so from the constitutional point of view, we were classified as 3/5, right?
Yes.
Of all human beings.
Okay.
And so that means that there were 2/5 missing, right? And those 2/5 was our nationality and our divine creed.
Thank you very much. Now, let's speak on that number. So, now this is it. If you or we are a part of Allah, think about this now. And Allah made you. That means you originally, in your original form, have a constitution that already comes from Allah. Think about that now. So now neutrality speaks about you have fallen away from the constitutional form of government. Everybody thinks that they're speaking about the United States government. The constitutional form of government applies to all nations. That's why he says, so you can be what? What you're not. Divine creed, that ye may know that ye are part and parcel of this said government, and know that ye are what? Not Negroes, colorful, or black people, or Ethiopian. I'm getting to the good part now. Because these names were given to slaves in 1779 and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this, but this is a new era of time when? Now. Here's the kicker. And all men now must proclaim their what? Free national name.
Before the government.
Well, get to it. So why is he teaching you your what? Nationality and divine creed? Because it's a new era of time now, and it is what's needed that what? That you may be recognized by the government in which ye, what? Which they live. Keyword. You see what I'm going at? You can only live in your own government. Because your own government will give you what? Life? What's life? Live. Liberty and the pursuit of what? Of happiness. That can only be under your umbrella. Because if you're doing it outside of your umbrella, you are subject to what? All mistreatments that anybody else want to give you. Here we go again. That ye may be what? Recognized by the government in which ye live, and who? The nations of the earth. Why the nations? Because not only you are a nation, there are other what? Nations. So how does nations recognize or put their trust in you? It's based on your what? Nationality, because that's what links you back to your what? Your people, your forefather, your essence. So if your forefather or your divine essence comes from who? From Allah. When you come and you step in on 5 principles. What are they? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So when you walk into any nation, they know you are the walking gods, because we're the only one that have those principles, what? Only principles to live by. So when they see you coming with your fairs, or they know you're supposed to be coming under what? Under those divine principles. So now they have to listen to you if you are living. Why? Because ye, what? Are the only ones that can uplift fallen humanity. Ye are the mothers and fathers of the whole human race. How can we put that Ma'atic law back into principle? You are the one that got to put it back in, so that we can slay the dragon and create a new heaven and a new earth, whereby what? Lewdness, what was it? Slander, murder, and everything that harms, so that can fade away. You're the only ones that can do it. No one else can, because we're the ones that have it. He brought it to you. But without your nationality and divine creed now, you don't even be recognized. What did they replace our nationality with?
Slave status.
What? Slave status. You're dead. So now you got the gods in this world as slaves. Living outside of self. Negro, colored, blacks, Ethiopians, etc., etc. There was a time in history where you couldn't call our people black.
I remember that.
Fight. Now everybody's black. Strong. Say it loud. Black power. Black power. Slave power. Slave power. Only power slaves have is death. Black according to science, it's death. So when we look at everything that they put on there now, they're telling you, but what we fail to realize and what we're missing it is, once again, in my jurisdiction, I can do what the heck I want to do. I don't care how you feel. It's not about your feelings, it's about what I consider within my jurisdiction. I write my laws how I want within my jurisdiction. Forget your feeling. Ain't about your feeling. Feeling has nothing to do with law. It's fun.
I just want to say that 1865 is the time that we're supposed to regain ourselves. But
Yes.
at the same time that South Carolina initiated the prison system and started locking people up. Right now, we still have the largest, I think the largest prison system.
Prison is the biggest business in the United States.
Yes. And
Once again,
you're in prison, it means that you are there with you, you're a slave to them. And you don't get your rights back.
Well, it's in,
Because you're in the wrong government.
It's in, there you go. It's their law. Right. So once again now, okay, if 1865, Pharaoh has said to our people, you know what? We appreciate you. You're done. Bye. You're free. He said that. Okay? He said that. We're here. This is Pharaoh. We're under Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, you guys are free. Slavery lasted from 1779 until when?
1865.
So when did slavery end?
1865.
1865. The problem is, the slaves never crossed over the Red Sea.
Right.
To formulate their own government. So what the slaves kept on doing was staying over here, fighting to become part of what? What's there. They already done told you. You understand? You are free to go. What happened, Master? We sick. Master got a hat on, I want what? A top hat just like Master. Master drives a horse and buggy, I want to drive a horse and buggy just like who? Just like Master. But we did not proclaim our one free national name, our divine creed, so we are still under Master's what? Rulership.
Yes.
You got me now? That's the problem. So Drew Ali King now is telling you now, look, we got to go to our people and teach them you are Negro, colored, blacks, etc. within this system. This is not who you are. Come out from amongst her and be ye separated.
Yes. From all my people.
All my people. The only thing that's stopping us is us. Because we're not talking about overthrowing nobody's government. Why? Creating your own. Drew Ali tells us we are law-abiding citizens. What does that mean? You're not to overthrow any government, you're not to do anything. So if, watch this now. There's a lot of most that say that Drew Ali said we got to enforce the Constitution. Think about that. Enforce the Constitution. A lot of them say that. But they never tell you what Constitution.
Right.
Not only that, how are you going to enforce the United States Constitution in Mexico? Or in Canada? Or in Spain? You can't do that. So they're thinking they cannot think outside of their slave master because they're still thinking that how, guess what? We are part. There's nothing wrong in you being yourself. It's your God-given right.
That's why it's you know, more and more it comes out the real significance of them making the statement about mental slavery.
Of course.
Right? Which is, they don't like to use the word now, but you actually could say mental retardation, meaning the development, right, of the mental state. It's not developed.
It's not there.
You know what I mean? And that's the state that a lot of our people are in, unfortunately.
But how can they develop if they don't know? And then not only that, if they haven't met the Holy Grail.
That's right.
She will lead and guide you into all truths. Most of them don't have the Holy Grail. Most of them can't give you the understanding because what they did, they haven't met it. How can I be what I don't know? That's the problem. Because those that are teaching aren't teaching because they don't know, they've never been taught. And Allah, unless he came or sent someone just like Jibril went to Muhammad and gave him certain lessons, someone will be forever lost. Because in their mind, they cannot see outside of what they have because their eyes won't let them see that it's okay to be yourself.
Right.
They can't do that. So what do we have to do? The only way we can do that, some man needs a pattern that they may follow. So you can't tell them that how you have the right to set up a new unless you set up the new so that they can see you have the new so that they can say, oh, I can leave here and come here. Now in the nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad even talks about separation, right?
Yeah.
Where did the idea come from?
That's what I always
It came from the teaching of Noble Ali.
I was introduced to the Nation of Islam when I was in the 3rd grade. Not by family, just by a friend of my uncle's. And I went there with them to the mosque. And I just came home and thought, oh, we are the original people, we are this, we're that. And I could never figure out why they called themselves a nation, they had no government.
But see, okay, well, that's good too, because the idea has always been to build your nation, because Genesis chapter 10 tells you that God created nations and blah, 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 and separate so that you know each other. It's always been that way. Now, this is not a knock, this is just a plain understanding if I can get you to thinking, okay? This is what this is about. Listen now, when I speak, y'all should know me, I speak from a position of love, I don't speak from hatred.
Right.
So now, okay, you have a nation, the nation of Islam. Well, what is the name of your citizens? No, but see, you can't say that because every nation, right? Every nation has let's say a name and a people.
Right.
If you say, well, we are the nation of Islam, okay? What do you call the citizens of the nation of Islam? That's just a rhetorical question I'm asking. What's the name of your citizens?
Islam. No.
They don't have it.
They don't have one. You get what I'm saying now?
Right.
So it's a question that I'm asking. If I say that China is a nation, the nation of China, what is the name of its citizen? What is it? Chinese. Brother man, please speak.
Yeah, that's really, really important.
Right.
And even in the teachings, right? See, we have to give proper recognition to, right, the wisdom that Elijah Muhammad had.
Of course.
If you know, for those, see now that you come into
more science,
and
you can see it.
Prophet, and you go back and read that message to the dead man in America.
Whoa.
What did he say? You gotta listen to some of the key things he said. He said we have to have some land of our own, knowing that the land belonged to us.
Yes.
Right? He said, right, we have to have a government
Of
our
course.
own. He told the people, you will never be, right, citizens of the United States. Right? And not only that, right now, let's take it even a step further.
Please.
Right? You talk about this thing about people call themselves the nation of Islam. Well, in the Grand Quran, right, Allah revealed, he said, do you not see how I have created you into tribes and nations? So, you know, I speak to some of my so-called Asiatic brothers, right, who think that they are Sunni Muslims, right? And I say, well, brother, now, you know, Allah is telling you right here in the book that he created us, right, into tribes and nations. What nation do you belong to? I said, go and ask the Syrian brother.
What nation?
Right? He'll tell you he's Syrian.
Yep.
Go ask the Yemeni brother. He'll tell you he's Yemeni. But what you gonna say?
Sunni.
Oh, you're black?
Asiatic.
No, oh, you're Muslim, right? That's your religious identity.
Yes.
To you. That's not a nationality.
That's not a nation. Yes, good. See, when you get the keys from the prophet, you get to pierce every other thing and see. Now, peace be upon him, even up to this day, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told them, look, I've only raised you up to a certain level.
That's right.
There's more to come later on, you're going to get it. Because he understood, just like even Moses dealt with it, we have to go through a certain time period, a certain understanding until the rest come to put us back together. Because what is the order of the day? It's always been nationality is the order of the day. So if you're still a nation and you don't have what you just still said, a nationality, then you are still what? You're still out there. Speak.
key, right? Very significant, like you said about the teachings of the prophet, right? Now, Elijah Muhammad said that he came to bring right forth the first and second resurrection. What did the prophet say?
Third and fourth generation will come.
So, no, like he said, right? Elijah said that he only took them to a certain point, right? Those who were sincere, right, and really got into the understanding of the teaching were supposed to, as the brother said, cross over or make the transition, right, from being black, right, into being the Moorish American.
Because here we done told them back here down in the bed already. Did I just read to you about Temple of Islam? Are we Moorish Americans? Any relations to them? They already know. As a matter of fact, when those of us that left from the Nation of Islam and created the Allah Temple of Islam, when they asked them, because remember Elijah Muhammad was given, give this one an X, or give this one this. When they asked them about the Moors, and they said, oh, they already got a holy name. Don't touch them. They don't need anything. We already got the L's, we already got the B. We don't need an X. So he already knew the teachings are there for those who actually understand for the further time for it to come into America.
Islam.
Islam? Nothing but the holy breath you just got. Nothing but pure truth. You can think, you can take that, swallow that clean glass of water and see that everything that we just said is based upon law, based upon scriptures, based upon everything that is. That's why truth will not what? Truth cannot pass away. You can take these same truth any which way and reveal it to any teacher, any in between, and they'll see it. What they do with it is their problem. But it's there. No man is above the truth. If I'm wrong, based upon the truth, because the law itself makes no respect of a person. So when the truth comes, which is a lie, it makes no respect of a person. Here's what it is. All law. She doesn't discriminate. That's truth. Anyway, so let's give it some time together. You got it. I like this. So, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Just like in the Bible, the Christian Bible, it gives a description of what Yehoshua looks like. Okay, so regardless of your skin color, whatever, it's there.
Yes.
And they still portray this Jesus in a whole different perspective.
They were.
And people follow it, but the truth is there already.
Yes.
It says that his complexion, his hair is like wool, but you're still looking at the other image and following.
A lie can be such a lie that it becomes a reality. I'm not going to call it the truth, it becomes a reality.
It's the reality.
And then as a man begins to think, so when your thinking becomes where you're thinking lewdness, murder, theft, everything, what are you becoming? Nothing but the devil. Alright, let's bring this home now. So we're going to do it 1865, according to the 13th Amendment. Oh, and I was reading this, y'all won't believe this. I'm going to show y'all something. Show y'all something. Yeah, I know I'm always digging, right? Gotta get to y'all. I'm going to show y'all something. And I sent this out as for y'all to read. I hope many of y'all read it. If not, those who had, I'll make sure that y'all got it too. So there is another segment of the Moorish paradigm that's actually advocating that the 13th Amendment with the 20 sections, all et cetera, is what we're supposed to be following, right? And so I asked the questions, have you guys ever read the 13 of the ones that you're proposing, saying that's what it's supposed to be? And the answer always comes back is, well, we haven't really read it. But, okay, no problem. But upon further review, when you actually read it, you can tell they have to read it. Because some of the things that actually inside of it, there's no way they can actually be advocating that we should be following that. But, okay, well, let's get back to this. Y'all know how I do it. I don't see it, we're going to deal with it. So, 13th Amendment. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, blah, 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 shall be within the United States, except upon being duly what? Convicted for crimes. And I told you all about Abraham Lincoln said, though being black is a crime, my client is not what? Black. He is a Moor.
Right.
So if we're saying that black is a crime, you're supposed to be what? Duly convicted of that crime, isn't it? Because now you're being black within the jurisdiction that's already told you that being in the jurisdiction, black is a crime. I told you that. It's self-imposed. Abraham Lincoln being a lawyer is telling you, black is a crime. So you've been convicted of being black. Now that means I can do what I want to do with you based upon the law because you're being duly convicted as black. So if I mistreat you, if I do whatever it is in between, so be it. I have the right to do it because that's what it is. Okay? We never, 1868 came about, which actually wrote the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment said, well, not all persons, how you use persons in the law during that time is speaking about slaves, because the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment dealt with what? The Reconstruction era of how we're going to incorporate the former slaves within their jurisdiction. Because once again, 1865, by 3 years, you did not cross over the Red Sea. You stayed there. You just can't have you wandering around and being refugees within the system without they doing something to you.
Right.
You said stateless. So what do we do with them now? All slaves or all black Negro colors born within this jurisdiction subject to assumable jurisdiction, Negro, colored, blacks, etc. within that jurisdiction of the United States. So now that you're under their jurisdiction, tells you whatever it is, then they're saying you have the right to vote, blah, 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 the right to vote. But you got to renew it when? Every 25 years or so. So is it really a right? The answer is no. You got a right, I got a right to breathe. I breathe. We can't stop you from breathing. You know what I'm saying? It's a privilege disguised as a right. The trick now is 1868 came by. Nothing was done. 1866, right after they freed you, guess what was formed? The KKK. Why was the KKK formed? Right after they gave you so-called freedom. What is the greatest power, greatest weapon that anybody can use against a person?
Fear.
Fear. So the KKK's job was to instill fear in you that you're not even worrying about setting up your own movement and doing your own thing. What are you trying to do to survive? So you would know about that. Now, 1871, we ain't gonna deal with that. But there was an election in 1877. After 1865, they made us feel the house. Okay, after the 15th Amendment, of course, we had the right to vote. A lot of our people were in offices. They gained the South. They had governors in South Carolina, governors in Mississippi, governors everywhere. The federal government had military districts lined up in the South to give us the opportunity to go exercise, quote unquote, certain voting rights. We took over certain towns. The 1877 election between Rutherford and I forgot who it was, they were at a standstill where it was almost like, you know, the Al Gore situation. Who was it, Al Gore and Bush?
Bush.
Right, where, okay, so how do we resolve this? Another deal was struck. It's called the Great Compromise of 1877, where they said, okay, well, now tell you what, I'll let you have the White House, but you got to get rid of all these military down there, these military districts within the South. Right? Which was there to protect who? Our people, so that they can do what? Get in voting process or whatever. So you know what they did? Okay, we took the deal. You can have the White House. The Republicans got the White House. And what happened?
They took the troops out.
They took the troops out, and that's where, guess what? All of a sudden you got segregation laws, you want to vote, you got to have, you got to learn to read, litmus tests, segregation, blah, blah, blah. All that was implemented. That's the deal struck again.
That's crazy.
But it's their system.
Yeah, right.
They do what they want to do. So will you ever be, you think today, if another situation comes where they have to make a deal to save their system or deal with you and let you what, roam free with it, say, what they going to do? What side do you think they're going to put? They're going to save themselves.
Isn't that what voter suppression is?
Huh?
Isn't that what voter suppression is today?
But voter suppression, they did the same thing back in the 77. Voter suppression is the same thing.
Right.
But see, the problem is, we still trying to function within the system. It'll never be there for you. That's not what it's there for.
Our people think, right, like you said, the illusion of inclusion.
Right. But he already done told you, we do not desire to what? Amalgamate or marry into. What we ain't thinking. So what happened? Huh? So let's get away now. Let's deal with 1886. What happened in 1886? Noble Drew Ali was born right. Where was Noble Drew Ali born? In the state of North Carolina. Our people were born in the state of what? Same thing. Slavery. So now the scripture tells you one was going to be born from amongst you in the same state, the same condition. Noble Drew Ali was born to bring you what? To bring you these lessons. So by, like a Moses. So by 1902 and 1904, what happened was they brought out the boule. Everybody know what the boule is?
Yes.
Black sororities and all these type of things. What are they now? Because now we're dealing with no longer physical slavery, we're dealing with a mental slavery. So the Boule and all of them has to deal with us on a mental level. So everything that they put out now is what? On a mental level. So now they got you thinking that how you're going to do what? You're going to be part of the system, you're going to be part of this. They're going to, but what happened was, what they don't tell you, by 1895, they had already struck the deal with people like, did I show you all that? They already struck the deal with the Rockefellers and all these big tycoons to decide who was going to be our leaders. Yeah. And what their job was supposed to do. Let me pull it up.
Intellectual slavery.
Yes, that's what it is. Intellectual slavery. Let's go here now. No. Okay, there we go. This is what I want to get you now. Everybody can see that? Oh, I need to make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
Let's make this bigger. And then we're going to deal with this, and then how about that right there?
Frederick Douglass, Carter G. Woodson.
Okay, how about? All right.
Du Bois.
Yes. All right. But I can see that now. Let's get it. You got to get this on.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Du Bois was one that opposed
Marcus Garvey. Yeah. Everybody can read that now. Okay. Man, what just happened?
Please keep going back.
Yeah. I know I keep going back. All right, let's deal with that.
Where is this taken from?
Huh?
Where is this taken from?
Well, you would hit the bottom, Brother Rogers, on the bottom right, and it'll make it zoom right there.
Yeah, that's just good.
Oh,
All right,
oh good.
All right. See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, so what is this? This is, then we move it over a little bit. Did it move here? All right. Screw it up.
Yeah.
Now get it?
I said, what, the Atlanta Compromise, right?
Yep, Atlanta Compromise was an agreement struck in 1895 between, who remember Tuskegee?
Yeah, Du Bois.
Who remember Tuskegee? Tuskegee experiment, etc., what they did, what? Syphilis and all that stuff on our people, right? Yep.
To go to this left right there, go all the way to the left where it says close.
Oh, there it is.
No. Go over that side, Brother Rogers.
Where?
To the left side, on the bottom. Right, up, right there. Close. Come down a little bit.
Oh, there it is. Good.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, there we go. I'm good now. See that what I'm talking about? That's what I'm, ooh. Fancy. And
now you can move the bar.
no, I gotta do this. And move the bar down. There you go. I want you all to read that. All right, there we go. Let's screw this up now. God dang. If I didn't need it, I would get it. There we go. Y'all can read that?
Yeah.
Don't too jumbled up. Okay? All right, that's good now. Okay, the Atlanta Compromise was a deal, an agreement struck between Booker T. Washington, Tuskegee of the African American leaders. But I can't read that right.
Yeah, we can read it.
Hey, I don't like jumbled up stuff.
You'll bring it down, so.
That's going in. Y'all getting that?
That's PowerPoint. You can't put it in
The word?
presentation mode and just show the whole slide.
Yeah.
And take the
Do that now?
sidebar out. Put it in presentation mode.
Down the bottom.
Come and get it. That's right. Get up and keep all that.
You all right, Brother Rashid?
Oh yeah, it's tricky.
Slideshow. Right here?
Yeah.
All right. Present online.
Current slide.
Man, come get this.
Start from the current slide.
How do I say? Come here.
Right there. Go upside down.
Right there.
One more.
To your left. Right there.
Ah! There we go. Okay. There you go. You know what I'm talking about? We good?
Yes.
All right. So let's get it now. Got it. So now it says, the Atlantic Compromise was an agreement struck in 1895 between Booker T. Washington, president of the Tuskegee Institute of African American Leaders, or Southern Whites leaders. It was first supported and later opposed by W. Du Bois and other African American leaders, right? This agreement was that Southern blacks would work and submit to white political rule, while Southern whites would guarantee blacks would receive what kind of education?
Basic.
And what?
Due process.
In law. Blacks would not focus their demands on what?
Equality, integration,
Or what?
justice,
And Northern whites would fund black education or what?
charities.
That's deal struck.
Tokenism.
Tokenism. Now here they tell you, we do not desire to amalgamate, no way. They telling you, don't amalgamate.
Right.
Even back then they knew exactly what law was. Don't amalgamate. They're telling you that. But we once again, no matter, we won't forget.
Right.
Then it says, the compromise was announced on such and such a line exclusive, okay? Then it goes in, wait, this is the part where I want to read it. The what? The phrase talented tenth originated in what? Read that.
1896, among northern white liberals, specifically the American Baptist Home Mission Society, a Christian missionary society strongly supported by John D. Rockefeller.
They had the goal of establishing black colleges in the South to train black teachers and elites.
What was that year?
1896.
1896. So in other words, their job, right, were to pick who were they going to basically be the leaders of what? Our people. But Prophet already done told us, return the church and what? Back to who? You see? So what kind of mission was it? Christianity was founded for who?
For
Their earthly salvation. So it's always been their salvation. So now I got to get the great one from amongst the slaves, teach them what we want to teach them so that they can go out and teach who? The rest of our people what we want them to learn.
Right.
It's always been there. It's always been there. So, all right, well, I want to go into the next slide. Let's see. I want to do that. Nah, I ain't going to pull that. We're done with that. All right, we're going to wrap up.
So for the record, on this timeline today, you went from 1865 when slavery ended to 1902 when the Boule was formed.
When the Boule was formed. And then let's do NAACP. I'm going to 1906. So NAACP came out from this agreement. Booker T. Washington and the rest of them, huh?
And the Urban League.
Right, and the Urban League came out from this forming. The NAACP rule was, what does it stand for? National what? Advancement Association for who?
Colored people.
What kind of people?
Colored.
No, would you already told you or what? Not Negro? What, not what?
Black.
You see what I'm saying now? So he would have told you that. So what they're doing now, they got to get the colored part instituted in your mind. So now they're telling you now, we have some basic education for who? Colored people. So now you can come in and say, I as a colored man, so you got to teach me how to do whatever it is. So these are there for you. That's their job. So now when you have, if you ever get in trouble, don't you ever call the NAACP to represent you. Oh no. Automatically, what are you saying? That you're colored. Automatically. You're tainted. You're tainted. Colored, anything tainted, stained, whatever, that's what it's for. It's the advancement for tainted people. Tainted out, you don't even know who you are. This is a situation, I'm going to advance you knowing that you don't even know who you are. Yes, ma'am.
You sent something out yesterday that was very interesting.
You want to read it?
No, I don't have it on my phone.
But
it was in reference, your question.
Voluntary servitude?
No, it was the question he asked, how many men are going to claim homosexual to get the reparations? So it's like the same type of trick.
It's the same trick.
It's the same trick.
It's just, because see what happened is, if the enemy knows, because the enemy is revolving just like we are revolving, he's going to trick you one way or the other, the same playbook left and right. It's the same because we haven't learned it, we haven't beaten them in the game, so what do? Same thing over again. Because we keep asking for what can I be part of. That's not the answer. The answer is for you to be yourself and do your own thing. That's law. Yes, sis.
It's not funny, but is really ridiculous because it just shows that we don't know. I mean, like, we have not studied. We just don't know. Because, like, when you just think of all the years, you know how people will complain about the inferior books. We need to hand down books, and our books don't have all the pages, and they get a Olympic-sized pool. We don't even have this. And the whole thing was a basic education.
Of course.
So,
it's always
you know,
been there.
supposed to have nothing.
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
I was wondering that
Oh my gosh.
after we had basic education and we wanted more, didn't all the schools that for higher education were all religious schools for blacks and colored people? They put them in religious, religious
like
colleges.
yeah.
Like all black colleges are religious colleges.
Yeah.
And but they basically just they wanted higher. They just basically gave us a religious education of more.
Yeah.
The same
the
thing.
same system.
And we still studying, and we're still studying their way of doing education, money, economics, but not doing for self, right?
Thank you very much. Did he sum it up right?
Right.
Because what happened is that was the agreement that was struck.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can't get nothing more than what the agreement gave you in any different form that you have, because the agreement is to choose those from among us to go to follow the follow the blueprint.
Wow. You know what I just realized in that, right? That was actually a very significant point in our history of self-perpetuation, right? Of the indoctrination.
That's all it is.
They didn't no longer from that point, right?
They no
our
longer
so-called leaders.
Our imposement, right?
Kept self-perpetuating. They no longer needed, right, to do anything.
Of course
our
not.
own leaders, right,
Are
would
the
keep
ones
reinstilling
the same system,
And
because
you
that was
like
the
the hamster.
right. Because that's what the agreement.
Right.
That was the agreement. So what happens now when our people start to come out? What do? They send those same ones back out to do what? To calm you back down and get you right back into the what? Into the whole system again.
That's right.
That's all it is.
That's right.
We gotta do that. The only way you can win from that system is to do your own.
Come out from among them.
That's the only way. Because it's set. Because once again now, that our aspect was, okay, we no longer can hold them physically. So we gotta hold them mentally.
Wow.
So Drew came fighting a mental battle.
Right. And that's why, right, in our Moorish Holy Quran, it says death is not an enemy to man.
Oh man.
So we definitely got to die from that.
So anyway, any questions so far? Because we're gonna get ready to close out. What I is, I want you to introduce yourself, brother. I appreciate you coming in. And brother wants to know some Moorish science along with nationality. And it's an honor to have you, and thanks for driving so far that you did. Okay, you're amongst family, so peace.
My name is Caleb. I'm from Rock Hill, South Carolina. I kind of already knew some things that he was talking about, but I didn't really know a whole lot, so I was just wanting to come in and meet people that I could talk to and get some more information. So I learned a lot.
Welcome.
We meet here every Sunday at 11 o'clock. There's more that we would like to teach you. Right now we have, like I said, some members from citizens from our government that's doing an agricultural, what's it called? Vegan festival in the agricultural department. And they're out there handling that. And we got a lot more things that basically we're doing, mostly from finance to media. Some of the brothers came from South Carolina. So there's a lot of things that we're starting to pull together left and right. Our whole objective is to, once again, is to formulate and do everything that the Prophet wanted us to do. That's the only way we can save our people. The other way is not going to work. We've already proven that left and right.
Over and over again.
So
Now that's the definition of insanity.
Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's crazy. So there's more stuff in here that I want to open up, but in due time I will. Let me show you all. I don't think everybody's seen this. I'm going to give you all the definition, and this is from the Oxford University Dictionary. Okay? And it says, what is the definition of a nigger? Adjective. Nigger, adjective. It says a dark-skinned person of any origin in the United States, right? usually refer to American what?
Indians.
That's Oxford.
Tell them it's out.
They're telling you who you are. So the question then becomes, when are we gonna do for self? Okay? Any other question? I mean, anything you want to share? Anybody has anything they want to share?
You talk to James.
Yes, I spoke to Brother James, and preferably soon, probably next month, we're gonna come down and go talk to that situation, Mayor, Swanson, yes. And then what we're gonna also do is we'll try to merge and try to get the agriculture department up and running down there and get everything so that part can be up and running as well. So there's a lot of things that's getting ready to move. We also talked to 1,000 great minds we're looking for, got some great ideas, some great business ideas we're looking for. So that's going to be a part of under the housing department, yes.
The thing about the deal with the community feeding, we was trying to project it on the 25th, right? Whoever can make it, whoever can.
The 25th would be great. Reason being the 17th is what we have. Great. That would be great. The 17th we're having our Moorish Fun Day, which is actually this month at the park. So rather than the 18th right after, that'll be too much too heavy on us. So what I figured a week after, those of us who come support you, I think that would be a great thing for us to do after that. We can make that rather than the 17th and the 18th, that's the Sunday. We're trying to have service still. So they have service on the Sunday because we got people coming in from Maryland and different places that's coming for the fun day. So
let me briefly explain.
Go ahead.
For anybody that wants to, it's a known thing that right now, this new era of time, we as the Moorish, right, nationals, we need to be more visible amongst our people.
Right.
Wherever we are, right. So one of the things that we're doing in South Carolina, right, is one of the most powerful tools, right, for getting to our people is feeding, right. I mean, it's not always the most educational, but it is a platform, right, whereby we reach people. Because I, for one, right, when I was homeless, I remember the people that fed me. You know what I mean? And I had, even though I may not agree with them, right, I have big respect, right, for that fact. So on the 25th, there's a community, right, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar. They had an incident in Columbia, right, at a housing project where two brothers died, right, from asphyxiation of gas, right, called Alabama. And everybody, they had to move all the people out, right? That's part of gentrification, where they had to move all the people out. Well, one of the areas that they relocated the people in is a place called English Meadows, right? And this is one of the communities that we want to go into. We would like that. As the Moors, right? As the Moors, we want to go, we want to serve the people, feed the people, interact with the people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We can do this, you know, in all our localities, so that we can begin, right, to fulfill the duty, right, and the command of the prophet. Teach our people their nationality and divine creed, bring you flyers or whatever. You know what I mean? No, it's not compulsory, but social first.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because see, our brother said to me, well, brother, you know, we know that you know, y'all want us to come to the meeting, but we don't see y'all in the community.
Right.
And what could I say? It's not, you know, that's very honest. You know what I mean? So, you know, even though we may not agree with a lot of certain things, sometimes, like the brother said, you just go places, right? So that you, as a Moorish American, right, can be seen. Not that you want to, you know, be seen as an individual, but you're representing, right, the freedom and the salvation of the people.
It's an honorable act. So, you know, once that get there, let us know. Those of us who are going to be there, we're going to make sure that we're there to support it. Because this is... No, you want to say this?
Yes.
Yes.
Shifa Ali, first giving honor to Allah, the Most High, magnificent, merciful creator of the universe. Giving honor to to our Moorish government, to those who serve, to those who are here today, to all Moors everywhere. Islam. We have the finance. We have discovered that we, as Vine and Fig Tree, as a 501c3, and some of you may know this already, but at Panther Stadium, Rashidi has opened up an opportunity, or found an opportunity, whereby we can run a concession stand and receive commissions for all the sales on that day. And it takes about a team of 8. The concessions are already there, so it's a volunteer situation. We have the paperwork and everything, but we just wanted to bring it to your attention and then talk about whether or not that was something that you wanted to move forward on to do. And it can be done on an ongoing basis to bring revenue on regular, in a fiscal cycle, yeah, to the organization.
Will we be able to wear turbans and fezes, or just regular? What will we do?
I don't know. So I haven't seen the contract yet. So once we've seen the contract, then we can ask all the questions that we might have.
Okay, that's great. I think Sister Vivian was talking to me about from local LLC. The only issue that we missed on the second was because of the day of the week. I think it was like on Friday or whatever it was. So if it's where most of us don't have to go to work, sure, we'll be there. We'll do whatever, wear our shirts and whatever it is that it needs to take. So get all the information, put it out, because of course we want to be in the community and we want to do it. So that's a given. So appreciate it. Thanks for bringing it up.
And one other thing. So 1,000 Great Minds, we have our manifestation circle at the Music Factory on Mondays and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. It's from 7 to 8:30. So we're growing. We implemented some new marketing strategies and outreach, and we went from 8 on the board to about 15 now, and 46 in the general participation. So we're growing. So we want to help us to know that that 1,000 Great Minds is the inner workings of the Moorish government. Right. Okay, for the housing, the transportation, and the upliftment of our mentality, our intellect, and what we need to do financially for ourselves to be set apart.
Right. So it's not 47. So I got you. I still got to take care of it. But anybody else? Yes, sis.
Arise from the great army, giving all praise to Allah, Father of the universe. Mr. Noble Ali, our forerunner and all forms here, there, and everywhere in Islam. Sister Shabbat, she put me in connection with a young lady who teaches Arabic.
Yes.
And so we talked about, of course, the passage, her coming in and being a part of that workshop. But I wanted to, I thought also that we would be interested, maybe, in learning that as well. I just want to throw it out there because as I'm talking to her, I don't want to tell her, yeah, we want you to come, and then the people are not going to show up.
Actually, if she's available, we make it mandatory that we have to come, because honestly speaking, it's something I think we all need to know.
Right.
Not only Spanish, but Arabic and Spanish go hand in hand. So.
Exactly, and so I figured we would offer that as well as get in contact with someone who can also do a conversation.
Okay. Put it together, let us know how we need to, if we needed a room or we need to find out whatever it is, and then we basically, even if it's a evening class or whatever it is, or even on Sunday class.
I just wanted to put it out there for interest purposes, because I think it would be awesome for us to be able to do at least conversational.
Of course. It's a great idea.
Okay.
Media, anything? No, really?
No, I mean, no, we got the newsletter coming, so we're going to get with Brother Rashid. You got time this afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have what I would like to see is the agricultural and the festivities that we've been involved in, right? I wanted to touch on like the black moon and the different, energies and what we should be expecting or looking to expect in the future. Family Day, Act 6, more spread. Is there anything anybody else would like to see? in family fun day.
We put things, something, information about the crystals.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, and that goes.
Well, we'll get
around
together
this.
and then, okay.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Sister Felicia, did you say something? You did say something to me about what you. Well, we'll talk to.
We'll talk.
So with that, I think, I guess that'll be it. I'm working on some, this.
Industry,
Mm-hmm.
the development of the industry, right? Trying to find a connection, you know, put a statement out, especially to the Moors, because what we found, right? We just did a thing this Tuesday in our study session, in introducing, you know, the 12 departments, right? And basically with the group that we had, you know, like Ms. Bull, of course, she's a historian in education, right? But I'm saying as far as industry, right? You know, we have like 5 or 6 brothers, right? With different skills, right? This is something we need to come together and start doing, right? And formulate, been had this idea for a long time, right? Some type of construction company, right? And start getting, even if we start small, right, with subcontracting, because this is the formulation of economic independence.
So that would fall under.
Ready or something like that, like where they come in.
Well, you know,
Off in different places.
I'll give you an example, like I'm a painter, right? And we did this project on a small scale level a few years back, myself and a couple brothers, right? Being that we had a house that we were working on, and what we did, right? We went and got a couple young people, right?
It's an apprenticeship
community.
It's an apprenticeship program. What you're referring to is it falls under trade and commerce, but not only that, it falls under the education department. Because what happens now is under the education department is when you see the 12 departments, under the education departments have to teach all those 12 departments.
Right.
So what happens now is, you understand now? Because out of the Sunday school, which is the education department, comes the guidance of the nation.
Right.
So what you learn in the Sunday school, you got to come out of that. You got to be a part of that industry of the departments. Make sense? So if you learn finance in the education departments, when you graduate, you go and work in the finance department.
Right.
So under that now, you have the housing being taught in the education department. That's housing, and not only housing, which is the constructions, etc., etc. They learn in that, and then they come out of it and they go with you now.
Right.
So when they go with you now, that's where they get their actually, because it's called a co-op, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
So they learn that they're hands-on co-op from you, which is, and then when they finish that, they get their hours signed off there, so now they become their apprenticeship under you. So the whole process and the whole mechanism is already there.
Right.
All we need now is our responsibility to go fish.
Right.
And when I say fish, we'll get the people, and then we'll do the explaining, and then if they can't see that, we don't want them.
Right.
Make sense? Yes, yes.
So we have, 1,000 Great Minds, and I say we, so 1,000 Great Minds being, and I don't want you to think of it as a separate
It's
organization,
not, right,
okay? But the 1,000 Great Minds has the 8 core businesses, which include construction, real estate, land development, all of that. And so we have, so the beauty of this is that the Moore Science Temple has the construct, right? Has the content. And 1,000 Great Minds has the content for every department that you need. And we're drawing people to us. And so what we need is the overlay of the Moore Science Temple of the nation on everything that we have. And we don't have, well, I can't say we don't have, because we do have Mother Rogers Bay. We need that, we need the information to come in our setting, because people are coming to participate, and so they want to know, well, what can we do and what are the things, and we're calling for professionals and people from all walks of life and skill sets. And that way we'll have a
professional aspect to it.
It has a professional and business aspect. It deals with all areas of commerce, right? And it moves, and the purpose of the commerce is to build housing, right? And get people homes and cars and the transportation that they need. but they do work.
Yes.
Right, so it's a work participation, like you're talking about in terms of the apprenticeship, right? But we need the skill set in place first, the skilled professionals in place first, so that we can set the framework of what that looks like.
Yes.
And this is like the perfect match for what we have going on. So I'd love to invite you. I don't know if you come in from South Carolina. How far out?
Columbia.
Okay, I used to go to Columbia every week.
Not that far.
No, it's not. It's not a nice drive.
I think journey is never too far for the development of our mission.
I think what we're going to do is, let's me and you and talk, because I think what we're going to do is, we're going to do a joint session meeting. And what I'll do is, what we'll try to end up doing is giving an overall picture so everybody can understand. And then what I try to do is, see, what we're offering from 1,000 Great Minds is what, quote unquote, the Moorish Science Center, they don't think along that line.
Right.
So what I try to do is, it's like I'm playing chess at the same time. We don't want to reveal too much to the wrong people at the wrong time. So, but we do know that how without industry, your nation is dead. So as the industry becomes developed at the same point, because let's take everybody that knows this, they got to have someone to still teach. So then that's when they teach within the school, and they teach within, and then we can pass it on to the younger generation so that they can come out and continue doing this. So the blueprint is there. I haven't told everybody, and it's intentional, because what I want to do, most of our people don't understand some things until they see it. You see what I'm going at now? So once they see that we're moving and we're doing things, and in between, then they have an option to say, oh, let me support this now. And that's okay, because you're still dealing with what you call the 85%, the 10%, and the 5%. You're still dealing with that. But what I do know is we're on the right path. And everything, trust me, keep the heart pure, keep the prophet out front. And what happened is happened, and it's happening because it's supposed to happen. So I'm pretty sure you got some things you're here for a reason. We ain't figured it out yet, but you're here. I know, but it's going to work out. So let's get ready to close out. Sister Tacoma, you're up, and then Sister Shifa. Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
First, I rise and I give praise to the great God Allah. I give honors to Marcus Garvey, give honors to our Moorish American government, give... Sorry? Noble Jawali. Sorry. First, let's start over again. First, I rise and I give praise to the great God Allah. I give honors to Noble Jawali, to our foreigner Marcus Garvey. I give honors to the Moorish American government and to a Moorish American can here, there, and everywhere. Islam. January 15th, 1929. The warning from the Prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans, it causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the Prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their Prophet. If they lose confidence in their Prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the Prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Jawali, and if the Prophet is not right, the government is not right. The Prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their Prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the Prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of Prophet Jawali. Islam.
Honors already given. Islam. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. 1. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. 2. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. 3. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. 4, if thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. 5, so shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam.
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
This meeting is now officially over according to Act 2 of our Divine Constitution and bylaws. Islam.
Islam.